Hi, and how are you today? Let's have a quick look at what is happening on the USDJPY. On the daily time frame, the momentum drive we have here is more of a bullish bias. And one thing I was able to do here is to connect a series of higher lows at this point to have a uniform bullish trend line that can guide our action going into the new week. It is obvious that price has been respecting that bullish trend line since the month of March, and we saw price did a retest of that trend line in the month of May to push price into 1.39400 area, after which we don't know what is going to happen afterwards. Are we going to see a move to the upside from this area, or is there a possibility that price could come back to do a retest of this bullish trend line before the move to the upside finally happens? Let's scale down to the much lower time frame and let's see what is happening at this point in time. Moving down to the 4 hours time frame, the first thing I was able to do is to identify the structure, the momentum of price action since the beginning of the month of July. I was able to connect a series of higher lows at this point to have a temporary bullish trend line that could guide our action. As we can see, throughout last week, we saw our price has been climbing the trend line, finding higher highs and higher lows. And as soon as price came into the 139.400 area, we begin to see something that looks more like a multiple rejection of the 139.400 area to give us a clue into the possibility of a reversal pattern within the zone. If we scale down to 1 hour time frame, things becomes a little bit clearer. Look at what structure is having. Look at what structure we have here. I was able to identify a supply zone. As you can see, price has been rejecting this area since on the 14th of July multiple times to give us lower highs at this point. So in that regard, we have a neckline structure at 138.700, which appears to have been broken during the later part of last week's trading session. I actually have a position running on this one where a retest of this neckline is probably further confirmation that price is likely going to the downside from this area. So if we are going to actually be having a counter trend opportunity, how do we intend taking advantage of that move to the downside from this point? Well, we actually don't know if price is going to respect this temporary bullish trend line to push price further up. But one thing for sure is if we do have a breakdown of that trend line, then a retest of structure should give us further signal that price is going to the downside from here. Going into the new week, I want to be selling right below the neckline at 130.700. Like I told you earlier, I already have a position running, and if price comes back to do a retest of this level, then I want to be thinking of adding more position to my existing trade. So where would my take profit target be at this point if price continues to the downside from here? Well, we all understand that after every impulsive move, we expect a retracement move that will happen to push price further up. So one thing I want to be doing here, scaling up to a 4 hours time frame, I want to identify the last impulse leg, which if we look closely into what has been happening, we can see that since on the 12th of July, we have a strong move to the upside from here. So if we have an impulse leg, we want to be looking at a retracement into the golden zone area as our first take profit target. And what is our golden zone area? Our golden zone area is the area between the 50 and the 78.6% of the previous impulse leg. And if we bring out our Fibonacci retracement tool at this point and run it through the previous impulse leg, what do we have? Bringing that out, we have somewhere around the 50. Okay, we have around between the 50 and the 78.6 area, which is within the 137.1 and the 138.1 area as a take profit target for any selling opportunity. And there is a possibility that if price comes into this area, we could be seeing a reversal pattern that will definitely push price to the upside from here. But until that happens, our expectations for the USDJPY this week remains bearish. And this is more or less a counter trend. opportunity. So I have a key level sitting at 136.700 area, which if we look left, we can see that this area has been respected in the past by sellers. You can see the first rejection here. We saw the second rejection here before we saw the breakout of structure and the retest of structure before we saw that impulsive move. So there is a possibility that price could come into this buying opportunity zone and move up, or probably come down to do a sharp rejection of the key level here before we see that move to the upside. So if that is going to be the case, that is, if we are going to be seeing price do retest of that key level, then one thing I want to be looking out for, if price continues to the downside from here, is if I see a breakdown of that temporary bullish trend line. Remember that bullish trend line is the red dotted line on your screen, and then a retest of that structure, then I want to be hard in position as the site of a reversal pattern, sending price down to this area, or if possible, price could even go as far as testing the bullish trend line we identified on the daily time frame before we see the move to the upside. So with what I have shared so far, it is very likely that we might be having a bearish momentum here on the USDJPY during the new week. And at this point, I would like to pause the video, and during the early hours of the week, be rest assured that I shall be giving you updates on how price is going to play out after we have monitored what has been happening during the early hours of the week. If this video in any way has been of immense help in making your own individual decision during this week, kindly support me by liking this video. You might also want to follow me on my TradingView platform so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally share in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you a wonderful night rest. Bye bye.